All right, we're ready over there. So thank you, Christina. Our second speaker for this prize, Audrey Alix, is here to reflect on failure.
I failed Calc 2. At first, it felt like the F on my transcript means that I fail at academics and that I will fail in the future and maybe I should just drop out now. It felt like the F on my transcripts applied to more than just the words Math 116. Now, at Hamilton, we don't fail. We're too good to fail, but we do. And admitting that I failed a class is as terrifying as is because then everyone here will know that I failed. So, am I a failure? I'd like to set the scene for you. I'm up late studying for my exams, surrounded by papers of practice problems, online resources, and so many definitions. Now, I know that I tried, and that is not why I failed. As Hamilton students, we are used to being pushed to be the very best, because Hamilton accepts and then expects the best. Hamilton boasts selective acceptance rates not too far from that of the Ivy Leagues. And Hamilton admissions may talk about a well-rounded admissions process, but according to admissions' very own published data set, out of 19 academic and non-academic performance factors, only 3 were categorized as very important: your high school GPA, academic rigor, and your class rank. Your interview, volunteer work, and your extracurriculars aren't even categorized as important. So we're used to it. The push for the high exam scores, the class grades, and the high cumulative GPA. For many of us, it makes sense that failure is scary. But what do I mean when I say failure? I mean 2 things. Number 1, I mean literally, of course, the F scribbled next to your exam score on that test that just didn't go so well. But number 2, I mean any sort of academic outlier. Say you are used to making high A's. You get back a C. This rattles you. Maybe it challenges your self-confidence. So when I say failure in this speech, I mean both of those things. I am here today to convince you that our culture surrounding failure at Hamilton is a problem. Now, I'm not here to convince you that we need to aim for failure. I'm simply saying that we need to make sure our students are equipped to handle it and grow from it. Because not only does our culture surrounding failure perpetuate poor mental health among students, but it also creates a sort of academic feedback loop of persistent struggles in academics. Now, I would like to propose 3 reflections on failure. Number 1, at Hamilton, failing becomes a feedback loop. In Calculus 2, I failed exam number 1. The aftermath was rough, especially because I thought that I was the only one who failed. If everyone else in the room can do it, then what is so wrong with me that I can't? Enter imposter syndrome. As Henry Ford of Ford Motor Company said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. While this might just be my experience and my lack of confidence, decades of psychology research has shown that this is true. Self-confidence is impacting success. Number 2. To the professors, parents, and mentors in the room, this one is especially for you. In Calculus 2, after my second exam, my professor told me that he was disappointed. This stuck with me through exam number 3 and 4. So please, think about the way you talk about failure with your students. The following semester, in a separate class that I took, I struggled on the first exam. I was approached by my professor to chat. She wanted to remind me the 3 things an exam is for. It's a measure of how much you've learned, how much you can remember, and what you need to review moving forward. I would like to thank Professor Kat Beck, who's here supporting me today, for separating my exam from my character, and instead of saying, I'm disappointed, she said, there is room for growth. Number 3, last but not least, For the students who are in the room listening, who have failed or who may fail, first things first, you may feel like an imposter, but I promise you that you're not. Take it from me, a senior in my spring semester, that you will be okay. When I received my transcript for the first time, I panicked. But I had some time to reflect. And with some help, I realized that it's only because I failed that Calc 2 felt much more important than everything else I have been successful at my time at Hamilton. A minute ago, I asked the professors, parents, and mentors to rethink the way they talk about failure. I implore and continue to implore the students in the room to have some confidence in yourself. You will be okay. Now, when I first found out that I made it this far in the competition, I had a decision to make. Because coming to the finals means that I'll be up on this stage telling you all and beyond about my experience in failing a class. Once this speech goes up on YouTube, my story is one Google search away. But I can be here because my relationship with failure has changed. And I am here because I have a story to tell. Hamilton needs a mindset shift. Now, I'm not going to stand up here and claim to have the answers for how an entire college community can change an entire mindset. But on the individual level, I have a suggestion of where we can start. At the beginning of my speech, I asked you a question. I failed Calc 2, so am I a failure? Well, I've made it this far, I did not drop out, and I'm graduating in 2 months. So no, I am not a failure. And Hamilton, change the questions you're asking yourself. Instead of asking, am I a failure, ask yourself, okay, what's next? Where do I go from here? Or, better yet, as a wonderful professor once advised me, where is the room to grow from here?